Hey everybody, JJ here, back with another Wednesday of Zoom Networking. We have our Capital Investing Done Safely call, and today's speaker is my good friend and partner, Bob McIntosh himself. Bob, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me here, JJ.
Oh, my pleasure. To have someone of your knowledge and expertise is beyond invaluable. Hey, what are you going to be talking about today for those that are just jumping onto the call?
As part of the Always Capital lending and funding arms that we have, what we realize is that most of you out there have a lot of connections. If you're following what JJ teaches, which is building relationships and networking, you're going to meet a lot of people. And as part of that, oftentimes they need capital. And so what we're doing is we're building a way for you guys to broker deals on our behalf. So basically, you bring someone who needs money for one of their deals, which is the most common need, and every real estate investor needs money at some point. Even if you're a sub two person, you might think, well, I don't need money because I'm going to, get this property subject to. Well, your goal should be at some point to eliminate that seller's mortgage and have your own. Why? Because the less hands in the pot, the easier it is for you to control your destiny and the less potential hiccups you have moving forward. So that's the goal. And so tonight we're going to talk for a lot of you who are already signed up as brokers, how the brokering process works, how we make sure that we track you, what we're doing that's a little bit different. And for those of you who hang on for long enough, I'm going to actually give you a sneak peek of the loan software and brokering software that we've built. It's not ready for launch yet, but you guys will get a sneak peek of what it looks like so you guys can start to see what we're doing. We have a huge commitment at Always Capital to be your number one funding provider for yourself and for everyone you know. And so I'm going to show you how we're doing that to make your life easier so you can see exactly what's going on, how it works, what's going to happen, and more importantly, how you can sort of add this as a stream of revenue to your business. Every business can use multiple streams of revenue to help them grow. So let this be one more that you add on. Whether you're here for the first time or you've been on a couple of these calls already, either way, you're in the right place. For those of you who are new, one thing that I would highly recommend, this is actually going to be this is actually the fourth brokering call that we've done. So the first three are sort of what does the brokering look like? How you're going to broker other people's money is part two. Part three was really about a process and methodology for you to grow your brokering revenue if you want to. And tonight I'm going to be showcasing just some of how the actual process works and some things that make us a little different from brokers and what you might see out there otherwise. Okay. After tonight, I would go to this link right here, alwayscapitalllc.com/broker, which I'll have Bell put in the chat for us right now. And you can watch a replay of parts one, two, and three. It's all right here. Free videos, by the way. There's no cost to do this. There's no cost to sign up as a broker. And there's almost no work. Not no work, but almost no work. Literally, the only thing you have to do is refer people to us, and we take care of everything else for you from there. So super simple, super easy to do that. So parts one, two, and three are here. If you're new to this and you go through and you watch tonight and or you watch the other videos, you're like, man, that sounds good. I want to sign up to be a broker. Perfect. There's a little form right here. You're going to fill out this information, submit your information for us to be a broker. What's going to happen from there is we will generate the brokering agreement that we have. You'll have to sign that agreement. And by the way, I've had a lot of questions in the brokering agreement. Yes, it's long. It's like 13 pages. I understand that that's like, oh my gosh, why is it so long to do something simple? The reality is because Always Capital and Always Capital Fund, we have to deal with some of the SEC stuff. We had to go a little bit above and beyond to make sure that we're in compliance with what we're doing and that all the essentially this is kind of like an affiliate relationship, all matches. So I know it's a little bit of a long document, but it's there just to CYA. Most of it will probably never be relevant to most of you guys as long as you do the right things the right way, which means don't be spammy, don't be scammy, don't lie to people, don't guarantee or promise anything. And we talk about all of those things and how to present yourself in one of those other calls. So go back and I think it was a call two, if I remember correctly. So go back and watch that. But you just fill out that form, send you a contract. We sign the contract. Once we countersign the contract, we'll set up a link for you. And that link will be yours to send people our direction moving forward. Now, there's going to be one caveat to that, which I'll cover a little bit later tonight. But here's the thing that makes Always Capital different than a lot of the other brokers out there that broker hard money or what we call institutional private money. And by the way, write that term down if you haven't. Institutional private money. That's what we are. What's happened out there in the world is that hard money's been around for a long time, right? Like one of the very first loans, my dad, who's on this call, probably attested to this. I forget the guy's name, but he was like we found him, I think on like Craigslist maybe through like because that's how long ago it was. And it was like 15% in 5 points, right? It was like, oof, that was some very expensive money. It was hard to swallow his rates, but we needed money, we got it. So hard money has been around for a long time. But what's happened is hard money lenders and hard money brokers, in an attempt to, in my opinion, deceive you into working with them, have co-opted the term private lender, which to me, private lender always historically meant like an individual. In other words, like Corey, for example, I see Corey Allen you're on my screen, so I'm going to call you out. Like Corey said, hey, I got $100,000. You got a project that sounds interesting to me. I want to lend directly to you, and we do that. To me, that was always a private lender, right? Well, these hard money lenders have co-opted it. And I get it. Technically speaking, a hard money lender is still private, right? It's not going to a bank or other public funding source. So it is still kind of private. But the term private lender gets mixed up with hard money lender oftentimes because hard money lenders have much deeper pockets in general than individual private lenders do, right? So, for example, with Always Capital, between our fund and all the broker relationships that we've built, we have access to, you know, literally $50 billion a year that we can pull from, which is basically saying, hey, we can get anything that you got funded pretty much. Now, there's a few restrictions and things we can't fund. And again, we cover that in the other ones. But the main things right now is we can't fund raw land and we can't fund individual mobile homes. We can do RV parks, but not the individual mobile homes in the park. So if like, the park and the land and all of that, that's part of it, yes. But most anything else we can probably fund for you, but we've moved to this term of institutional private money because it kind of makes more sense. It sounds a little sexier. Let's be real. I'm the marketing guy, so I love having good marketing behind it. It's a good term, and the reality is, I want people to understand that our rates actually oftentimes aren't hard like they used to be. Like that guy I talked about. Right now, a lot of times we're between 10 and 12% on many loans, and sometimes on DSCR, like longer term DSCR loans, we can be 7, 8, 9%. Not always, but it depends. And obviously, those rates fluctuate. So if you're watching this replay down the road, right, if the Fed the 5-year and 10-year Treasury notes have gone up or down, our rates will fluctuate with those rates as well. Um, yeah, and in some markets, it's definitely a little higher. We have to risk adjust, like anything. There's always risk involved, so we adjust for that. But the idea is, hey, if you know someone who needs money, I want you to send them to us to get their loan. And there's a couple reasons why you should want to work with us, and you should want anyone that you know to work with us. First and foremost, and this is something that sets us apart from most of the other lenders out there that do this, is simply this: once you refer someone to us, as long as they do just one loan with us every 2 years, which is not a big ask, right? Just one loan every 2 years, that contact stays with you and attached to you as a broker for every single loan they do, which means every loan that they come for us to and they get and we fund, we will pay you on. Even if you only referred them one time, you put their information in, and then you never send us another piece of information, but they keep coming back for loans, guess what? You keep getting paid. Simplest way for you to build mailbox money, right? No tenants, no toilets, no craziness, no construction, no contractors. Literally just find investors who need money, send them to our direction, and we'll attach them to you in that capacity. Now, that also means that they have to not already be in our system, right? So, because the reality is, if someone else has already attached them, I can't attach multiple people to a single person, right? But send us your folks, get them in there. We'll take care of you as we go. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you're going to find as you do this business for long enough that in the world of institutional private money, there's always someone who says they will do it cheaper, they will do it better, they can do it for whatever, right? And there's always investors that have the incorrect mindset of, I need the cheapest money possible. That's never true. It's no different than contractors. You don't want the cheapest contractor doing your work for you because you know exactly what you're going to get. And the same is true with hard and institutional private money. So what's more important than the rates is, are they actually going to close? One of the things that sets us apart is that we don't just fund from our own fund, we always capital fund, but we have access to lots of different resources for funds. We're going to look at your deal. We're going to look at you as a borrower or your partner as a borrower and say, well, okay, Who are you? What's the information about the deal? And which provider of capital is going to actually be the best one for you to get the deal done? That's going to actually close. Because the worst thing that could happen to you, ask me how I know, is you get 2, 3 days from closing, you think everything's good, and your lender comes in and says, "Oh, yeah, actually, we can't do that. Sorry." And then that's it. Now you're like, "Well, what do I do?" And you're like, "It doesn't matter to them, right? They got nothing in the game. You're just get out of luck, for lack of a better way to put it." And so you don't want that to happen. And so always capital, we're always going to be upfront and we're going to be very speedy with what we do. What do I mean by that? I mean, we'll have a quote to you within 2 business days or less. And many times, if you submit the quote in the morning of the Eastern time, we'll have it to you by the evening of Eastern time, right? We're trying to get these information so you know exactly whether we can fund the deal or not. And what you'll also find is that as long as all the information was accurate to who we are, to what it is, you didn't lie about anything or whatever, we have a high probability of closing that loan, right? Now, obviously, we got to get in, we got to do the appraisal, we got to do our underwriting. There's things that we have to do. So I would love to say we close 100% of our quotes, but the reality is sometimes people give us misinformation or they think that the valuation is higher than what we can see. And so, we have to change our valuation to make it there. And other reason that you should always send people to us is at the end of the day, I don't want to scare you from doing real estate, but there's a lot of shitty people out there who will straight up lie about numbers on their deals just to get you to buy a deal. And so we're sort of like your second set of eyes, right? We've done between the four of us and my actually really five because my business partner Gigi is part of this too, right? We've done literally thousands of deals. And so we know how to see through the red flags, and we have more than enough experience to be able to judge a property fairly quickly on whether it makes sense or not. And so I want you to treat us almost like your second set of eyes to say, hey, if they won't fund it, then something's wrong, right? The deal probably doesn't make sense to do because I only get paid if you fund the deal. Like if we give you the money and it closes, that's the only way that Always Capital gets paid. So I'm incentivized to want to give you money, but I'm also incentivized to want you to keep coming back because you did good deals and you made money and you rinsed and repeated that process. So we're here to protect you guys on that as well. Okay. Now, one last thing before I dive into the brokering part here is we do have a 60-day challenge currently active right now. And so Bell posted in there, free to join, 100% free to join. You get points for brokering a loan. You get points for submitting a loan quote, for doing an appraisal, and for getting a loan closed. So at the end, I believe it's February, or I'm sorry, March 14th. So we got like another 5-ish weeks or so. Whoever has the most points is going to win $1,000 Amazon gift card. So get out there, broker some loans, send them in, get them going, get them to us. By the way, if you broker a loan, in other words, someone submits a loan quote to us from you, you get 5 points and they get 5 points, right? So, you want to get these folks in to do that. You want to ask the good questions. So should we not post that we have hard money, but we should refer to it as institutional and private money? And the answer is it can be a little bit of both. The term institutional and private money is one that we decided to coin. So not a lot of folks are going to know it, but I think it makes a lot more sense. So what I've been doing is saying institutional private money, and I put parentheses hard money. And I'll probably have to do that for the next year or 2 years as we build this term up. People get to know what it means, right? Because not everyone knows it, but the goal is to get that term out there. So I just keep using it, and it's kind of like I don't know if you guys ever remember, was it Mean Girls, where they're like, "Stop trying to make fetch happen." Well, I'm going to make institutional private money happen. We're going to make it happen. We're going to put it out there and make it work. So, but yeah, you can use it. And by the way, you guys, whatever terms you want to, right? Like, don't feel like, oh man, I used the wrong term. It's okay, right? We're all learning and growing as we go. Sabat asked a good question. Do we fund EMD, DC, transactional, gap funding, etc.? So we will do transactional funding with double closes. We can do that. Um, Otherwise, we're pretty much first position only. We don't really do any sort of gap or second position funding until we will consider it once you've closed at least 10 loans with us. Because now we have trust and we've built a relationship of trust so that we know who you are and how it works. But otherwise, we're usually looking for first edition stuff, fix and flips, ground up construction, DSCR loans for rentals, midterm, short term, long term, anything of that nature, all of that. All right. So, how does this process work? So once you sign up, you sign the agreement. I kind of sign the agreement. What will happen is, and by the way, after I sign the agreement and you get the final version back, we'll build a custom link for you to send people to. Please give us a little bit of time. That can take up to a week to get to you because we have to build them all manually for you. So just be a little bit of patient as we go through it. I'll show you guys a little bit later tonight the process that we have. It's going to make this a lot faster as we go, but it's not up just yet. So once you sign up, we'll get you a link, and that's your link. That's your unique link that you use to send everybody to moving forward. Okay. So what does that actually look like? What does your link look like? Well, let me actually show you. Just so you know, we have this crazy spreadsheet with all of our different brokers on here, and this is your link. And so what your link will look like is something like this. It'll say alwayscapitalllc.com/quote/something. Now, obviously my dad's RM, and in this case we have two Rob McIntoshes, so there's a one after his, right? But this is the link, super simple. This is all you got to send to people, and we'll give this link to you. By the way, don't use this one; that's his. You want to use your own link that we'll generate for you after you get in the broker program, okay? And what'll happen is this: you go to this link that we give you, and it's going to automatically forward to the quote page, and you're going to see here, it's going to add a whole bunch of extra junk on the back side of the link. You don't need to worry about what all this means, right? This is how we track you as a broker. Now, this is really important. This is also something that we do different than a lot of other brokers out there do. A lot of other brokers out there rely on the cookie system, which has been around for a long time. And I don't mean Cookie Monster nom cookies, right? I mean like the little files that live on the back of your computer that track things that you do. Now, the problem with the cookie system is twofold. One, at some point, Google wants to get rid of it. They tried to in 2025, but they got stopped by the EU, but it's still coming down the road at some point in time. And number two is if someone ever clears their cookies or cache from their browser, which people do on the regular right now, then you don't get credit for the loan. So even though this process that we built is a little bit more manual, it takes a little bit more time for us to do, the difference is that there is no question of you getting credit for referring someone so long as you use the link that we give you. Okay. And that's the most important thing. You use the link. Now, here's how this is going to look, just so you guys know. It'll forward the link to this whole long thing with all this extra stuff on here. Okay. You go through and you fill out the loan quote, and you'll see right here, did someone refer you? If so, put their information here. And the information will automatically fill out here. Now, in addition to showing up in these three boxes here, behind the scenes in the code of the form in the website, it's also inserting your information into the backend code. We do this for two reasons. Number one, let's say you're like, oh man, I don't remember my link, but you're talking to someone and they're right there. If you can get them to this quote page, they can fill out the broker name, email, and phone with you right there, and you'll still get credit for the loan, right? So this is a backup just in case, or in case, whatever, someone goes there and they forget your name. They're like, oh yeah, they told me to go here. And they're like, oh, it's, Sony. I'm going to call you out. I see you on my screen. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Right. They're like, it was Sony something, Anya something. I don't know how to say his last name. Right. So they put your information in. This way you still get credit. Right. We'll figure out who you are. We'll track it back and try to make it happen for you if we can. But this also appends information into the back end for us. Okay. So this way you're kind of covered from two different directions because we want you to get credit. That's the most important thing. Most lenders out there who are doing brokering, they actually don't want you to get credit because they want to keep more for themselves. We realize that you guys are like the lifeblood of our lending business. And so we want to pay you. We want you to get credit for it. So that's why this will do this. Now, as long as you use the link, what's going to happen is it's actually going to fill it out in both ways. It's going to put your information here. It's also going to put it into the backside. Okay. And then all you have to do is simply fill this out. Literally fill this out. So they'll go in, we'll say, Bob, FF testing at gmail.com. I'm going to call it testing FF. And I'm going to do some custom information because I want to show you guys how this works. Bob plus testing FF1 at Go3DC. I'm going to change my number to this. I'm going to put Bob's company. It's 123 Main Street in Lockport, New York, 14094. I'm buying it for 105.06, let's say. I need 25,000 after, and it's gonna be worth 210,000 when it's all done. I've got a 780 credit score. I've done 40 flips in the last year. Okay. And I'm just making up information here, right? But this is all they have to fill out, just this information right here. If they want to put any details in, they can right there. We'll go ahead and say, I got to check the box here and then say submit my deal. And just like that, it'll say, hey, boom, your quote request has been received. We'll get you the details here in a minute. And so what's going to happen from there is it's going to send an email to our entire team. So Bell, JJ, Mark, Brian, myself, all get the email, right? We all find out, hey, this is, we got a loan request that came in, and we'll start working on it immediately. Now, what will happen on the back end side is it'll come into our database. And so you can see right here, I just filled out this one right here, right? And you can see it just says right now. So if we open this up, and by the way, this is Velocity CRM, which is my CRM. So if you ever need a CRM, by the way, reach out to me. I'd be happy to show you. We have a real estate investing CRM. Obviously, I'm using it for our brokerage right now for our lending arm, but you can use it for real estate investing mostly. And if you come down here, we have this little section in here called Broker Program Contact Source. And you notice that I have my dad's information in there, so I can see all his information is right there. This is how we know that you sent us this loan request. This is also now, you are now attached to this contact in our system. So now we know that this contact came in and this quote request came in because of you. So all we got to do is just fill out a simple form, whatever information that we need here. And there's, by the way, there's different information based on it, right? So if we're doing a bridge loan, there's a little less information right there. If you're doing a rate and term refi, right, there's a little more information I'm going to need, things of that nature. So just have them fill this out, use your link, and go from there. It's as simple as that. It really is. I know that sounds almost overly simple. And by the way, great. Bal just posted a screenshot of the email we get. So not only do you go in our system, we also get an email and we'll start working on your loan quote, and we'll get that quote to you as quickly as we can. Now, the loan quote is good for a couple of things. One, it's going to tell you all the information you need about the loan, what we can do, rate, terms, all the details that you need for a loan. If you need it for a proof of funds, it can also serve as a proof of funds for you as well. So if you're talking to like a real estate agent for like a listed property, for example, that's a perfect example, right? Go out there and they're going to want to see a POF. You can use our quote that we generate for you as a proof of funds for that as well. Anyway, so this is how we do it. This is why we do it. This is how we build it. And the most important part is just to let people know to use your link when you sign up. Now, I know a lot of you guys had put that you were brand new and you hadn't been here before. So if you sign up for a broker, obviously we had quite a few number ones in the chat. Just give us some time. We'll get the contracts generated. Just be aware, if you submitted your information and you don't see your contract by like tomorrow-ish or sometime like that, double check your spam folder. We're constantly fighting with Google to get our emails out of the spam folder and into your actual inbox, but it's a good chance that it did go to either your junk or spam folder and is inside there. So always be that. By the way, if you see our emails ever in your spam folder, just drag them, literally drag them to your inbox. That lets the like Google and Microsoft and Yahoo and all these different email providers know that, hey, you want to see these emails. And it also helps our emails get to your actual inbox instead of going to the spam folder. It's just something that we always fight with. So that's the process. It's super simple to submit someone. By the way, you don't need to collect documentation. You don't need to vet documents. You don't need to vet the borrower or do anything of that nature. You really just need to get them to submit to do a quote. Now, a couple of things to help you guys be more successful with the loans that do actually come through the system. Number one, we are a first position lender, right? So we need to be in first position. We, again, don't really do second position or anything else of that nature. We can do transactional funding. That's like the one exception to the first position aspect. Whoever is borrowing the money or submitting the request, or whoever is going to be the equity partner of the deal that we're using their credit to go from, um, just be aware that you're going to have to come up with approximately 20%. Now, it might be less if you have a really good track record, you've done a lot of deals. Sometimes we can go lower than that, but you should plan to have 20% of the purchase price as a down payment, if you will. Now, We don't in our company, and almost no institutional private lenders will allow you to have a secondary private lender on the note. We need you to have skin in the game. Now, it doesn't have to be your skin, right? This is a great opportunity for you to find a equity partner who will be who put up the money and use their credit. So if you have no money, no bad or no credit, you're going to want to get an equity partner who will basically be in the deal with you. Yes, you will give up some of the profit you make, but getting 40 or 50 or 60% of a deal that closes and makes you money is better than 100% of no deal that closes because you can't qualify or get the deal across the finish line by yourself. Now, you notice that we did ask for in our quoting form, we asked for your FICO and your experience. I want to be very clear. This is not like a standard bank note where if you don't have the right credit score, we won't give you money. All we have to do is we have to simply adjust the credit, adjust the risk profile of our lending to fit your credit score. So I don't care what your actual score is, but I need to know what your score is so that we can adjust the risk profile. And what I mean by that is if you have bad or no credit, okay, or you have very low or no experience, then we simply go down in the total LTV. So in other words, the total amount of money that we can lend to you, or LTC, loan to cost, we go down in that number. This is why sometimes having a good credit partner, right, who can be in your deal, who has a good credit score or good experience or can front the down payment for you, can oftentimes actually get you better rates or more money. So you have to come out of pocket less. And so even though you're giving up part of the deal with them, you're actually going to make more because they're more, I'll say, more credit worthiness allows them to get a better rate, a lower rate, or things of that nature. Okay. So this is how we kind of help all of you guys. Now, I'm going to pause here for a second and I'm going to take any questions. And then after I answer those questions, I'm going to actually show you guys a sneak peek into the loan software that we're going to be launching. It's going to be designed for brokers and borrowers specifically. I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek into what that looks like because it's going to be game changing for a lot of you. I mean, it will change the process that we're building right now a little bit, but we'll go through that. So I see we have a couple of hands raised. Peter, I saw yours up first, so I'll start with you if you want to unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hey Bob, I appreciate you. Real quick here, can you repeat what you were saying about showing proof of funds?
Yeah, great question. So our quotes that we use can be used as a proof of funds. So if you're dealing with someone who's like, oh, I need to see a proof of funds before I can accept your offer or work with you, which you'll see, you won't see that in off-market properties, and you won't often see it. Sometimes you do in sub-two deals, but not very often. But you almost always see it on-market properties. Then this is what our quote can be used as a proof of funds for you in that capacity. So this is what a quote looks like. I'm hiding some of the information on purpose, right? But it tells you the loan amount, the interest rate, the origination fee, a renovation draw fee, any other fees that we have. This is usually like closing costs and things of that nature. In this case, we're doing 90% of purchase price for this person, 100% of renovation costs, 70% of the after repair value, and in this case, we actually did 92.5% loan to cost. Now, remember, I just said sometimes you need as much as 20%. Well, this person has a much better credit score and a much higher experience profile. So we're able to adjust that is a lower risk for us so we can lend at a higher amount. So you guys, if you have a bad credit or no experience or very low experience, your goal should be to get as many deals done as quickly as you possibly can so that your credit and experience profile is raised up because that enables you to borrow at higher rates, which allows you to do more deals. So this is why we do it. But yeah, and to answer your question, this quote can be used as a proof of funds and sent it off. And our contact information is on there. So you can always tell them if they don't trust this, they're more than willing to reach out to us for proof that we did in fact quote this loan and that we are willing to fund the loan that we have. So yep, this is a great example of that. So good question. Jacqueline, I see your hands up, so I'll roll to you.
Actually, I don't even know if I need this question answered now, the more I listen to you talk. But I had met a woman, I don't know, maybe a month ago. She had a deal that we were, because I do a lot of connecting. So she
Okay.
had a deal and she wanted whatever she wanted. But anyway, a couple days later, she discovered she was outbid on a property, so she lost the access to it. So
Okay.
she's been doing this for a while, and so she was wondering if she could actually speak with the lender. So then, because she wants to do like multiple deals, like
Mhm.
not all at once, but continuous deals. Um, is it possible for her to talk to the lender so when she's ready to go, she can like pull the trigger, they can pull the trigger? But it kind of sounds like if she just gets the link, or if I just fill out the link for her, basically that's it, right?
Correct. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
So hang with me for a moment, because this is a great example, right? So here's the reality. A lot of people have the cart before the horse, right? They think, oh, I got to talk to a lender to know I have a lender so I can go get deals, so I know I can close the deals. And the reality is money's out there. You just have to know where to look. So now that you're here and she's here vis-a-vis you, right? Have her take her next deal, submit it. Make sure you use your broker link. Sign up to be a broker if you haven't already. Use your broker link. That way she is linked to you and you'll get credit for every loan she does that closes, and submit it. Here's the deal, guys. So this is the perfect example, and I'm going to make some assumptions for a second on her and what she was doing and how it works, because Jacqueline, this is very, very common. Okay, speed is almost always more important than rates when it comes to institutional private money, right? The reason that most people get outbid on projects like this is because the seller talks to someone, they say, yeah, that sounds good, I want to work with you. And then a deal's a deal, other people find out about it, and then they start offering a little bit more, and then the seller gets cold feet, right? And so, or they change. They say, oh, I can get more money from this person, so they go over there. So oftentimes being able to have the money locked up and know you're ready to go and the deal can happen is better. The speed is better than the rate. So even if my loan, for example, is 1 point higher than somebody else's, or 2 points of interest, 2 interest points higher than somebody else's, if you can get the quote in your hand within 2 business days or less and proceed forward with the loan before they have a chance to go do or talk to anyone else, you don't lose the deals that are out there. So that's important. Now, Jacqueline, I'm going to have you also tell her one other thing. As you get better, if you lock the deal up and you sign the contract, then the sellers can't back out, right? It's very difficult for a seller to back out of a deal,
Right.
in most states. So they should always be aiming for that. But I get it. When they're newer, they're unsure if they're going to get the money and all that. But this is why, hey, as soon as she knows the deal, right? As soon as she knows the deal. And by the way, even if you're still working with the seller to negotiate the final price, put the price, go and fill out the quote form on the price you believe will be the purchase price. Just because you fill out the form with X doesn't mean it can't change down the road. Now, of course, if you fill it out and the price drastically changes, that doesn't necessarily mean that we'll be able to lend it no matter what, right? It's going to change the outcome of the loan. But what can often happen is like, okay, I know, for example, I'm going to get $250,000 purchase price in this house. That's where we're going to end up probably, right? She's at 265. I want to be at 240. If we end up at 250, we're good. I still think the numbers make sense. If it's less than that, it's never a bad thing. If it's more than that, that can be a little harder. But have her fill it out ASAP, get the quote in hand so that they can move quickly. That's the best thing I can give you advice on that scenario.
So then should I be sending her the link, or should I fill out the link for her?
Great question, Jacqueline. So here's how we operate our business, and this is how I recommend that everyone operate theirs. Whatever is going to get the deal submitted, do it. If that means, hey, I got to call you, you give me the information on the phone, and I put it into my own broker link on your behalf, great. If that means I text it to you and you fill it out, great. If that means you want to
Okay.
text me each piece of information and I manually go put it in myself, great. Whatever is going to get the deal there, because you don't get credit if
Okay.
you don't do it, right? So take the
Right.
and by the way, guys, this is no joke. I literally, I have a text conversation with 4 different guys. Each of the 4 gave me one piece of information that I needed for the freaking quote, and I still put it in myself. Why? Because I'm here to service you guys as borrowers. If that's what you need to do to get the loan done, we'll make it happen. You should operate with the same mentality as a broker. Whatever you need to do to get the loan across the finish line, make it happen for them.
So I have one quick other question.
Yeah, go for it. These are great
I
questions,
had
by the way,
signed,
Jacqueline. Great
I
questions.
I had signed up for the broker program, and I did get a kit emailed to me. And when I got
Yep.
in there, it did say that my link was inside. I did not see that link in there unless I missed something. I'm going to look again, because
Hmm.
what you put up there on that screen, all I saw was alwayscapital.com. So I'm going to go back in there and look and see.
Yeah, double check. It should be an email. That email might have gone to your spam folder potentially, so double check there too. But um,
Okay.
Yeah. Bell, if you could drop the broker kit link. By the way, it's just alwayscapitalllc.com/broker kit. That's your broker kit information, right? We send it out after you sign up for a broker. Obviously, you can utilize it beforehand, but you won't get credit if you haven't signed up to be a broker, even if you use our broker kit, because you have to have a signed agreement in order for us to be able to pay you out. And I did see a good question of how much do brokers earn? You earn 25 basis points of the total loan amount, right? So basically, a 0.25% of whatever the total loan amount is. And you earn that on every deal that person does, as long as they do at least one deal with us every 2 years. Then they continue to stay and be a part of your circle, and they're your contact. Leanne, yes, we do all 50 states in the United States. We can't do anything international right now. I can refer you to international lenders if we need to, but all states, correct? Yeah. Now there are some complications in certain states. There's a little more rigmarole to doing that. So, but most of the states that most everyone's doing deals in, we can fund in. So, yeah. All right. Amber, I see you have a question with your hand raised. I'll jump to you.
I do. Thank you. So Jacqueline actually asked two of my questions.
Great.
One
Great
of
minds
them
think
was,
alike.
one was, do we fill out it? Because my understanding was we filled out the form. You said whatever to get it done. Good. Solid there. Um, Also on Jacqueline's, I think you may have already answered it, but I didn't receive a link either in my email. But then earlier in the call, you said, give us some time. We're working through those. So, um, I'm because I just signed the contract, like the final contract was sent to me this afternoon. So I just
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to,
So we're
okay,
working on your link. Yeah, I think I just
okay,
signed yours this afternoon. Yeah, guys. So we have to manually build all the links for you guys, which is something that we're working on fixing with the software that we have. But for right now, it's manual. So yeah, if you have your if you get once you get the signed contract back, which means I've signed it and you signed it, give us a week at most, usually a day or two from there. Belle is very good at getting these done quickly, and so I want to say thank you, Belle, for doing those. She's the one that builds these things out for us. So, but yeah, we'll get it to you as soon as possible. I think, Amber, I think I just signed yours actually today.
yeah,
So you'll probably have your link either if you don't, if Belle hasn't already built it because she's quick like that, it'll probably be to you either tomorrow sometime.
okay, perfect. And one last thing I have.
Yeah.
So I had somebody reach out to me that said that he has a client that is a seasoned investor, flips about 20 properties a month in various states, and he's looking for a transactional lender that doesn't charge upfront fees. Um, but then he said that he's a first position lender. So I guess I'm a little confused on what that means.
Yeah,
So forgive my ignorance, but
that's
I'm
okay.
trying to just wrap my he
So
said he has a lot of clients. I need capital. I'm a first position lender. So how would that
gotcha.
work?
So if he's going to be the first position, then there's nothing for us to do because we won't do second position. We have to be the
Okay.
first position as always capital. And again, the only time that we work around that is that once you close at least 10 transactions with us, we'll consider it. It's not a guarantee, we'll consider it.
Okay.
So that's how that would work. Now, real quick, I want to be real clear with everyone about upfront fees and what that looks like and some red flags to be aware of. There is no legitimate lender out there who's going to charge you upfront fees to get a quote for a loan and say that they can do the loan or not. If they do, they're probably a scam artist and run away. Okay. However, to close any loan, any legitimate provider you will have to pay something upfront. And what that usually works out as is the cost for the appraisal on the property. And good reputable lenders like Always Capital, you will pay for example, we use a company called Appraisal Nation. It's the biggest one out there that's the most widely used. You'll pay them directly to go do the appraisal of your property. So you're not paying me as a lender. You're not paying any upfront fees to get the loan, but you are paying for the appraisal because it's a required piece of any lender who's going to do this is going to want that. And then, of course, there will be fees paid at closing, which is closing costs, attorney costs, title costs, all the things that go into actually making the closing happen. But yeah, you should never have to pay anything upfront outside of an appraisal in most cases. And if you do, that's probably a red flag for that lender. I'd run away and come back to us because we don't charge any upfront fees. Again, you do have to pay for the appraisal, but that's not really a fee. And it's not paid to us. It's paid to the appraisal company to do the appraisal on your behalf. I'm going to go to actually to Yolanda. I know, Peter, you had your hand up before that, but you already asked one question. I want to make sure we get through everybody. So, but I'll come back to you in a second. Okay. So Yolanda, why don't we go ahead with your questions?
I think you might have already answered it with the material that we have for the broker. You gave us a lot of material, and in
Yeah.
some of them, you want us to take with a little sticky, you want us to take our name, take your company off, and put our company on. Did you also want us to
Yes.
include your phone number, and should we include the link?
Yeah. So great questions. So when you're out there doing marketing, right, we're encouraging you to use your own branding and logos and your own names because I want you to build this as a stream of revenue for your business, right? Look, selfishly, I want you to build my business as lending, but I want you to get the credit for it, right? You can put our phone number, but the problem with that is if they call us and they don't tell us that they came from you and we don't have them already attached to you, right? We might not even know that we need to pay you because we didn't even know that they were your contact. So I would always recommend that you put your number and your link on there for them to reach out and get a hold of you. Now, once they go through and they're added and they're linked to you, then it doesn't matter as much. So as long as they've done at least one quote or that you fill out the form on their behalf at least once, then you'll be okay. Because now we've got them linked to you. But yeah, I would always recommend you put your information there because I want you to get credit for it. And I would feel terrible if someone came in, got a loan, got funded, and we just didn't even know that we needed to pay you because they never told us. And then you don't get any money. You're like, what the heck, Bob?
And I
So
would
yeah,
come for you, Bob, just so you
you
know.
I know you would. You would. And
And
I'd
so
make sure
the
we take
reason,
care. I'd make sure we take look, guys, I hope you can sense my sincerity. Like we want to take care of you. I want you guys to get the credit for the work that you do. Right. There's nothing worse, and I see it all the time, unfortunately, in this world. There's nothing worse than putting in the effort and not getting rewarded like you told you were going to. So I want to make sure, Yolanda, that we take care of you when you come through.
right, I appreciate that. And that's why I was asking if we should put the link, because so in the marketing material that you gave us, we would have our company, our phone number, but then the link would also be included. But on the link, it has your phone number. So that's why I was asking about the difference with that.
That's a great point. And that will be fixed with the new software we have, right? So yeah, if just get them to fill out the quote form. That's the most important thing. As long as they do that, once they're attached, they're good. And you want to, if you're ever like, hey, I'm not sure, email the office email address and say, hey, I told so and so to come in. Can you confirm if they submitted a quote or not? By the way, if they submit a quote, you should, I believe I'll verify this. We should be sending you a copy of the email as well.
Yes, I did have one that
So
was before this, and I did get a quote and I did get the email also.
perfect. Yeah. So that's how you know for sure that they're attached to you. Once they submit that quote, then you're good.
Great. Thanks so much, Bob.
Absolutely. Thanks, Yolanda.
I have
not
an
me.
LLC that I do for my fix and flips, and then I'm getting into lending. And if what I understand is if it's under 12 months, I can like it's the same company. So do I sign up as my LLC or do I sign up as an individual? Do I have to set up a separate LLC or whatever that looks like?
Yeah. So, and just to clarify, sign up as a broker, correct?
Yeah, yes, I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Perfect. So, you're going to want to sign up as a broker with wherever you want to get paid. Ideally, that's probably going to be an LLC so that you're not getting nailed with the 1099 and taxes and all that shenanigans. Now, I will say this. I am hold on. Let me asterisk star disclaimer. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. This is not legal or tax or accounting advice. Please seek out professionals who know these things because I am not that. My belief, however, is I don't believe in signing up for LLCs until you're making at least 10 to 15 grand a year in the thing that you want to have the LLC for, because anything less than that, the amount of energy, effort, and just in some states like California, for example, fees that you have to eat just to operate as an LLC are ridiculous. And it makes no sense to do that. Again, that's my take on it. right? I'd rather just run it through some other company that I have. And when it gets to a big enough number, then I spin it off to its own thing. Again, seek professional advice. That's my opinion, not my advice. You will need to have an LLC to get the loan. We don't do loans to individuals. So anyone that you broker a loan that's brokering, they have to have a company set up. Now, they don't have to have the company set up when they do the quote. If they're in the process, that's okay. We just, before we close, it has to be known what the company is going to be, and you have to have an EIN issued by the federal government to do that. So that is one caveat to my previous opinion. Great question, man. Thanks. And JJ, thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and we did have another question by Savada Sev that he's been waiting there for a while. Some people just don't get their hands raised. And Sev, are you there? Sev, you had a question.
Yeah, so I think Bella answered it. I did get my broker's kit, but I didn't see a link in there, just like the other people who asked. But she did send me the link on the chat for me.
Yeah.
So
So you mean your unique link?
yes, I don't know if that was
Yes.
a
So
separate
we'll
email.
email
I might have
you.
missed it.
Yeah. We'll email you your unique link. It won't be in the broker kit because the broker kit is standard for everyone to just download and use. It's not yours uniquely. So we'll get you an email with that as soon as it gets set up. So if you haven't gotten that yet, just hang tight. We're building them as fast as we possibly
Yeah,
can.
she said you guys did send it to me, but I think I lost it in spam. But she provided it for me anyway, so
Okay,
we're good
great.
then.
So you got it.
Yeah, thank
Perfect.
you.
Peter's had his hand up a while. Peter, what's your question?
Thank you. So these loans, are they 20-year, 30-year, or are they short-term?
Okay, it just depends on what you need, right? If you need a long-term DSCR type loan, we can do that. If you want something short-term flip loan, a 3 to 5 year DSCR, we can do that too.
Okay. So they do bubble payments as well.
And yeah, with the caveat that, and this is important, guys, these are investment loans. We cannot do owner-occupied properties. So and you cannot have family live in the property either. So this has to be basically an arm's length transaction and an investment property. Flip could be flip, rental, short-term, mid-term, long-term, whatever. But yeah, that is one caveat.
Okay. And the LLC, does it have to be in the state that you're doing business in?
No, it doesn't. Where your LLC is doesn't matter. You just have to have an LLC or a company, right? It doesn't have to be it can be a C corp, an S corp, a LLC, a S corp with LLC election, an LLC with S corp election, whatever. I don't really care, right? Just has to be some sort of corporation.
Can we represent our own deals?
What do you mean by that?
Well, let's say we're signed up to be the junior broker, and then we also wanted a loan.
Oh yeah. Just broker your loan through your own link. So and basically you'll get, we can either pay you a quarter after or just take a quarter off the closing.
Hello.
Kathleen Petty, you're up.
Yes, I have a quick question, but a quick follow-up question too. Do you do novation?
I mean, not really, no, right? Because there's not a loan that executes there. So if they need a loan on the novation, right? Yeah, but like the actual novation itself is not a loan. Like it's not like there's not a loan being initiated as part of the novation until the end sale. So if the end buyer needs a loan and it's not owner occupied, then yes.
So in other words, if it's a fix and flip, I guess you could say that you wouldn't, even if the owner holds the note, that you wouldn't do for the renovations for that property.
No, because the note would be in first position and we have to be in first position, so we couldn't do that.
If we wrote the deal to where it was in that you were in first position.
We can be in first, but we don't allow seconds. So now they have to be an equity partner in a deal with no loan against the property.
Okay. Just needed to know.
Yeah. Guys, yeah. So just to be real clear, when we write loans from Always Capital, from our fund or any of our brokers, it is exceedingly rare that we would allow a second position loan to be there with that. Now, there are exceptions, but that's the reality. And the reason for that, just so everyone understands, it's not that I'm trying to make things difficult for you guys, but the number one indicator of default for lenders is no skin in the game. So if you've got zero skin in the game because you've got a second position lender, guess what? It's much easier for you to walk away from that deal that went sideways. And so this is why. And so this is why the Always Capital Investing Done Safely group exists. We are training an entire group of people on how to be those equity lenders, so that they don't need a second position loan. They just put up the cash, pay off the other guy, and their equity is in the deal of that capacity, for example. That's why we do it that way. So equity is fine. Secondary position notes, not really.
Can I add something to that? So Kathleen too. So I think what she was asking is with the novations is that there's no deed transfer in it. So potentially you could be giving a loan to a homestead owner. So they don't do that there.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
again, in
Oh,
that scenario, if it's owner occupied, then we can't issue a loan.
right.
Yeah. So
So
no owner occupied deals.
So my question is, so there's a situation I have, and my friend, and he's a real estate agent. He's had this under contract. He brought in he doesn't really do commercial, but this is a 6 unit, and he brought in a lender. They did something really dumb, is they vacated all the 6 units, and so they're all vacant, and the lender is coming up with a, hey, I can't loan anything because there's no income coming in. And they're talking about writing, fake leases and stuff like that. And I told my friend not to do it. And he's like, I just wanted confirmation from you not to do it. And so my question to you is, will you do a 6 unit with no leases and the entire thing vacant? It's actually livable. So,
Yeah. So in this scenario, a couple things. First, yeah, we should be able to get it done. It's just going to be because it's 6 unit, right? So it falls into commercial. So it's going to be lower LTVs or LTCs. And then with no income, we'll probably just have to adjust the risk downwards. And so what I would probably say is, if it's livable but needs rehab, then, get a short term 12 to 18-month note, get the thing filled up, and then refi down the road. So now you got income, so the value should have gone up, and you'll probably get a better rate that way. That's how I would look to do something of that nature in that scenario. But yeah, I'm sure we can figure it out. So just get it submitted and let us know. Now, this is important, though. I do want to talk about this, guys. And this is true for everyone. Never, ever, 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 never, ever. How many often? Ever lie to your lender about things that are going on, because it is the single fastest way to get blackballed in this industry. And I need you guys to understand how serious of a violation this really is. Okay. We are members of the NPLA, National Private Lenders Association. The NPLA now has a blackball list, which basically says if you do shady shit, you lie, you participate in what we've seen in Philadelphia and Baltimore, which is the fake valuation of appraisals to squeeze money out that didn't need to be there, you will be blackballed. You, your name, your LLC, and any company and anyone that you work with will be blackballed. And none of the hard money world, which is about $50 billion of hard money across 10 companies, will do deals with you ever again. Ever, like literally ever. So you lose your source of the most valuable thing you can have as an investor, which is access to money fast. So never do that. And Damien, I know you're not, but I'm telling everyone else, just don't lie to your
yeah,
lender. Now, here's the deal. We're investors. That's who we were first. We built this company to be investor friendly. So what does that mean? It means tell us what's going on. Give us a story. Don't lie about it. Tell me the situation and let me figure out how I can work it to your advantage and still be good in the green. Right? That's your best case scenario. In this case, okay, yeah, great. You know what? You don't have any leases. So, Damien, what we might end up doing is saying, well, is there some repairs that thing needs? I'm sure there's some repairs that it needs, right? There's definitely there's got to be, right? Okay, good. So, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do a buy and hold loan. We're going to get you 2 loans. One's going to be for the fixing, and one's going to be for the flipping. And while you're fixing each apartment, what you should probably be doing, okay, is filling those apartments up with renters so that by the time we're ready to do the fix and hold, you've got rental income and we can show that and get you out the door and that DSCR loan with no problem. You see what I'm saying? So it's one of those, let us figure out how we can work it to your advantage and still keep you in the clear, right? That's our goal, right? And I'm not going to lie to you, right? I'm not going to say, oh yeah, we'll do some crazy things that but let me figure out the best way for us to structure it to your advantage because I want you to get the loan, right? But I do need to know that we're going to have the right things behind it.
Okay. I'm actually a backup buyer for that too, ironically. I've walked the property way back in the summer. I have one more quick question. As far as like
Yeah.
a rooming, this is an official, and I'm not really a rooming house or co-living guy, but it just happened to be on my doorstep. It's a mile away. This is it's zoned and it's licensed by the state of New Jersey. Is there anything you need special for that? Because I know that Brian mentioned
The
you guys
Yeah, the
weren't doing.
co-living. I'm gonna give you a poor answer here, Damien. I don't know what we need. We kind of figured out a way to finagle it with one of our lenders. Like they know what's going on and what we're trying to do. We just have to kind of do things in the right way. I don't actually know what that requires. So just email us the information and I'll have Brian or Mark get back to you on the specifics. They're both on planes flying out to LA right now. So I just email us in and I'll get you the information.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot.
Perfect. All right, Victoria, I see you got a question.
Yeah, I completed the broker's agreement, but I put
Perfect.
my individual name instead of my LLC. Do I have to go back? Do you have to send me a new one to put my LLC, or is there somewhere in the back office I can change it to LLC?
No, that should be okay. When we send the agreement, you'll put your LLC information on the agreement form when you fill it out, and that should be sufficient.
I already filled that out though.
Oh,
I
you
put my
did? Okay.
individual. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Do I need for you guys to send me a new one so I can put my LLC in,
Um,
or is there a back office I can change it to an LLC?
Good question. I don't know. I might have to resend it to you, Victoria, and redo it. You can try going to the same link and seeing if you're able to edit it. I don't know if it will let you or not, though.
Okay, yeah, because you've already signed it and everything and sent it
Oh,
back.
if I've
That's
already
what I'm
signed it, then yeah,
saying.
no, it's
Yeah.
finalized. Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, we gotta redo it. I'll work. Victoria, can you put your email address into the chat for me, and then we'll regenerate a new contract with you, and then just change it out, and we'll sign that one instead.
Okay, thanks so much.
Absolutely. Indulge me for like 5 more minutes here. I want to show you what we're building because I want you guys to understand our commitment that we have to you guys as brokers. This is AWC Nexus. It's not fully functional yet, so you won't be able to go and do anything with it, but it should be probably in the next 30 days or less, hopefully out there for you. And what you'll be able to do is, as a borrower or a broker, you'll be able to log in to your own account and actually see everything that's going on as a broker. So you see all your contacts, how many active quotes you have, your funded volume, and how much you stand to make as a broker in the process. And you'll be able to see in here every loan that's open through all of your contacts. And you'll be able to click on any of these loans and see details. And if you see like a little red triangle right here, this means that we need documentation. Why I'm pointing this out is that the biggest delay in loans getting closed and the biggest reason that they don't close is that we don't get all the documents that we need. And by the way, guys, no one has access to this yet. This is just a demo account. We're building this as we speak. I just want you guys to see what we got going on. So you'll be able to open this up, you'll be able to see what's going on here. You'll be able to see where the status is, all the information for the property, the borrower, the details around the deal, any files, and all the documents that are outstanding, as well as some notes in here, right? And then you'll actually be able to track your analytics over time and see what kind of loans am I getting from different kinds of people? Where do they fall? What's happening with all the details? How much am I getting paid out as a broker? So we're really building this out for you guys. You also be able to go to every one of your contacts. So now you'll know, did someone sign up? Yes, they did. And I'll actually be able to see every loan that they've either requested, is funded, or whatever, all in detail right here. So we're really going with this and trying to make this, guys, work for you guys. And you'll be able to see every loan you've ever done will be listed here as well over time. Okay. And then as a borrower, if you log in as a borrower, why this is great is that this is going to make your borrowers' lives even easier. They'll be able to log in and see every loan that they've got open and pending in review, approved, funded, servicing, etc. They'll know if there's documentation needed. They'll know where it's at in the funding process, so they can see everything, and they'll be able to open their stuff up here. They'll actually be able to go right in here, be able to add any files. They can upload all their documents, and if they already uploaded documents once, they can actually add it from another loan. So you don't have to upload the same thing 50 different times, right? Try to make it as quickly, as easy as possible, and see notes and things going on from us, right? You'll also be able to manage their profile. So I told you that we need to know what your credit score is and flips and all that. So as you build your credit, as you build your experience, you have the ability to go in here and change it. So that way, when you submit deals to us, as a borrower, it's automatically updated with the latest information. Now, eventually, this will be fully AI enabled. That will take some more time, but the AI will actually be able to allow you to upload a loan, track the documents, track your specifics, and spit out a quote for you on the spot immediately. That's what we're getting to. It'll take some time for us to build all that out because there's a lot of complexity to that. But we're building that out for you guys as borrowers and as brokers. I want you guys to have a great portal that you can trust and know this is everything I got going on as a broker. So we're investing some money into building this out with you guys.
We have another question. Let me bring
Oh yeah, sure.
Eileen on. You are on with Bob McIntosh. What's your question?
I have a question about the business for the commercial building acquisition for Always Capital. So what's usually the way, how is the funding goes, looks like?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Can you rephrase it for me?
Yes, the purchase price 1.2 for commercial building. They have 20 years of revenue already from the same two tenant state of Nevada. It's public health and social services been as a tenant for the last 20 years.
Okay.
And the sellers want to sell it because he hasn't done any capital improvement since 1993 when they first built it. So I want to, I asked a realtor today, they were like, they haven't done any major CapEx. So was 7,000 square foot building is going to require at least $400,000 for both roof and the AC. So with that being said, what's the acquisition if I submit the loan through the portal? So what's the loan looks
Yeah.
like?
So like how much money can you, I'm still not sure what the question is.
I said how much money I can borrow for the building.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have no idea. Submit your information, submit the quote, because it's going to depend on the deal, the specifics. We're going to need some more information. We're going to
Okay.
need, your credit score, the experience of you if you're doing the loan. And then, if it's commercial, that's going to impact it as well. So that's why we have the quote process. Because
Okay.
I can just like make up some numbers and give them to you right now. But that's not going to be very helpful for you, is
No,
it?
no.
So yeah, submit the quote to us, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I just finished my first flip, so as a commercial property, so that's why it's in the same town. I figured stay on Nevada is my tenant. Why not, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Ismail, you are on with the Bob McIntosh. What's your question?
Bob, yeah, I got a question. Is signing up for the broker affiliate program and signing up for the 60-day challenge, is that fall into the same thing, or are they two different things?
Great question. It's two different things. So signing up to be a broker will allow you to actually broker the loans. Signing up for the challenge allows you to earn the points and be in the running for the $1,000 gift card for whoever has the most points at the end of the 60 days. But once you sign up as a broker, if you broker a loan quote to us, you get 5 points as part of the challenge, right? So if you want to participate, I would sign up for both for sure.
Okay, appreciate that.
So when we sign up as a broker and you guys accept us on into that program, do we get like a personalized website that we send people to, or do we get some kind of a link that we put on our own website? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, it's not a personalized website, but it is a unique link that tracks back to you. So you'll have, for example, alwayscapitalllc.com/quote/LT for you, right? And that's your unique link that you need to send to everyone to get credit for that. Now, long term, right? It'll be at the AWC Nexus, but it's not there yet. So for right now, yeah, you'll get a unique link that you'll have right from there that you send everyone to, and just point everyone to that link. Now, and if you wanted to, if you had your own website, for example, your own URL, you could set up your own link that forwards to that link. There could be some complexity with that because my link then forwards to someone else, but I can help you if you want to have your own link, forward it right to the end link that it needs to go to, because the pretty link that we give you just forwards to the longer, uglier link, because no one's going to type all that extra stuff in.
Okay, so the idea then would be like, we're talking to people, we're networking, and hey, let me send you my link. This is how you can apply or whatever. That's
Correct.
the
Yep.
idea of how this works. Okay.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, when you're presenting it, right, just say, hey, I have a trusted funding partner called Always Capital. They're who I send all my loans through. That way, when they get there, they know why they're at our site and not at your site or something with your name on it. Cool. All right, I think we got another question. We got a couple more questions. Cool, guys. You ask the questions. I want you guys to. I want you guys to use this, right? Because this is how you win. And by the way, this is how you add a stream of revenue to your business. And I promise you, if nothing else, it helps pay for some nice dinners every once in a while.
Thanks for having me. I haven't gotten the link to become a broker. I got the link for the 60-day challenge, but the form to start the brokering, I haven't gotten it yet. I've looked through my spam, and I believe I've been here since the beginning of the underwriting course. This is my fourth, but I haven't seen it.
Bob, I just texted it to him.
You
I
just
just sent it
texted
to
it
him
to
via
me.
text message.
Yeah, perfect, Eric. So if you already filled
Thanks,
that out,
JJ.
though, I'll have to double check, and we'll get you the broker agreement into your inbox as soon as I can.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, next coming up out of the good old fortune builder days, we have Felicia Smith. Felicia, you're on the Bob McIntosh.
Okay. Your portal is very detailed, very friendly user. It's very impressive. It's clean, and I love it. The thing that I wanted to ask about is the training. Are we trained on this if we become a broker, or we just advertise?
Yeah. So there's some basic training. Do we have like a super in-depth, hardcore, 60-day boot camp you're gonna roll? No, not exactly, right? But we've got some good videos on there, and we'll continue to do broker training over time. So if you look, I believe part 3 on the /broker link, the alwayscapitalllc.com/broker, Brian walks through a very specific process of outreach to get a hold of people to potentially broker loans for them. So you can look there, and then we'll keep doing ongoing trainings around things as as either things change and we're like, hey, there's a new way to do this or something cool you guys need to know about, whatever it is, or B, there's something that happens that precipitates us saying, hey, we got to update you on something that, or honestly, it's probably Brian and I going, man, I got a cool idea for our brokers, and so we're going to go train you on how that works. So but then, of course, if you've got questions, just reach out. That's what the group is for, too. The networking group's a great place to ask questions about how to do things if you have them, because I want everyone to learn from that, right? Where you'll find that we don't really gatekeep a lot of information necessarily. And so we want you guys to have that information. So if you have a question, that means someone else probably does too. So ask it in the networking group and we'll answer it for everybody.
Okay. Thank you, Bob.
On my YouTube channel, we have over 360 interviews. This really good-looking guy here, Bob McIntosh. We have with Always Capital, we have what's called the Lender's Lens. Mark and Brian have done a series of videos that are 2 to 5 minutes on hard money versus private money. What's the little difference? What does a lender want to borrow? What are the pros and cons of borrowing from private money lender? What's the cost of borrowing money? There's a dozen short videos here, guys. Please watch those. And of course, my networking playlist on networking tips, how to work the room in a live meetup if you plan on going to a Squad Up Summit or Pace's bus tour, how to do shortcuts with your smartphone, how to and why to make your friends list private, place like getting started, cybersecurity for real estate investors, on acquisitions, comping and underwriting, raising money, doing due diligence for private money, for private lending, protecting yourself, women in real estate, virtual assistants, just a ton of value here, guys. Please, this is all free. The YouTube channel is all free, but feel free to look at the stuff here that we've got going on. Bob and Mark, we've got a number, and Brian have a number of videos here that we want to bring to you. Everything we're bringing to you is free. The only thing that I ask, I tell everybody, I'll help you for free, but I want something from you. If you guys are on the call right now, please unmute yourself on the count of 3. Tell the people that are new exactly what I want, but you guys are on the call. What do I want if I'm going to help people, guys? What is it? What's
Friendship.
friendship? This is all about friendship. It's all about building relationships. People help people that are just like them. People help people they know, like, and trust. Bob, anything else you want to share before we end the call today?
Yeah, one more thing real quick. If you guys wouldn't mind, in addition to going to JJ's personal profile, head to the Always REI Networking group, JJ's Always REI Networking. Find this post that he made like tonight, about an hour ago, and just drop a comment on this post, right? Facebook has a bad habit of suppressing things in groups if we don't get activity. So you can see in this group we've got, you know, whatever 4.9 thousand members, but so far this has only reached 75 folks. I want people to know that the power of this exists for them in their business and to take advantage of it. And so the more that we get, you know, you guys can engage in that group, the more it's going to push out there so that when we talk about these calls happening every single week, they know about it. So if you could just go drop a comment, leave a GIF, write something. It doesn't matter in the group whether you leave a GIF or not. Just the most important thing is say something here so that more folks know to come on these calls every single week. And there's, you know, the capital investing group has one call a week, and JJ's network has two, and every once in a while we do additional calls from there. Awesome. And then real quick, Pansy asked the question, if someone has money to invest, who's the best to contact? If they're an accredited investor and they'd like to invest in the Always Capital Fund, they can reach Brian at alwayscapitalllc.com. If they're not accredited right now, I don't really have anything for them directly that we can do. But Pansy, have them reach out to us either way. We'll see what we can figure out from there to make it happen. You know, there's always opportunities abound. I just don't know if I have anything specific I can talk about right now, but we'll figure some things out. There's also some other interesting ways that we might be able to work with them, even if they are not accredited. Awesome, guys. Thanks so much. Appreciate all of you as always. We're gonna hop off. I know we're already a little bit over here, so thank you. Get out there, build the brokering, build your business, build the stream of revenue. I'm excited to work with you guys, and yeah, we'll keep investing to support you guys and growing your business if you keep investing in us to show up.
Yeah, exactly, guys. I tell you, you know, we won't chase you, but if you show up, we will pour into you. We will, as you saw by today's call, we will pour into you. And guys, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. See you soon.